guys, we're back. As you can see, we've got the nose piece on our XP-38. If you look underneath, you can really tell the story here. As you can see, we have two screws that are basically just driven down into the body, and then once I got it set that way, then I put some Gorilla Glue to really seal it well. As you can see here on the top, I made a big mistake, and then I used Automobile Bondo body filler to fill in the gaps. The problem with that is the ratio that I had to use was for a big project, for a big dent in a car, and I couldn't get the oxidizer and the actual Bondo mixed properly, so it kind of had the consistency of cookie dough, and so I had to basically, you can probably see the pink inside there, that's the Bondo, and then to fill in the holes in the Bondo I had to use just a wall compound. And once I get a nice coat of primer paint, and then I'm going to seal it with some polyurethane, it should hold up pretty well. So that's where we're at right now. We're back. As you can see, our LandSpeeder is looking a little bit better. We've got a nice coat of base primer on there. It's not perfect. I've still got a couple dents and dings in it. The dents and whatnot actually give it a really Star Wars-like feel. So I've been trying to take them out, but the more I think about it, the more I want to just leave them in. But the nose has been extended about 1.5 inches. If you look on the bottom, you can see it's all special effects. It's pretty ugly underneath there, but the top's going to be okay. I haven't really decided what color that I'm going to paint this whole thing. I'm thinking I'm going X-Wing style with a kind of a off-white and a little bit of red accessory colors there. But that's where we're at right now. We've got a nice base coat of primer on there. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to put some seats in here. Now these are only for aesthetic purposes because, as I mentioned before, the design of this thing has gotten so out of hand that the canopy will not open. It's going to be just a sealed thing, but we want to be able to look inside there and actually see that it's got seats in there. So I'm going to be using this, which is super sculpting clay anyway, and we're going to basically build some sort of rigid type base, and then we're going to build clay to give it a little bit more dimension and actually look like a seat. So we're going to do that and make the seats for our LandSpeeder. As far as the engines are concerned, here this is our basic outline that we've got going on here. As I mentioned previously, they're just travel deodorants, but I've taken the liberty of cutting them and emptying them out, and these are going to be clipped into the side here, like so. As you can kind of imagine, it's kind of a Mickey Mouse thing right now, but we'll get it. As far as the engines are concerned, I haven't really figured out how I'm going to work them. I know that I'm going to use toothpaste caps as the exhaust ports. I'm going to have 2 exhausts coming out of each one. It's going to be kind of pod racer-ish looking, I think. Hey guys, it's Billy here. Welcome to stage 3 of our XP-38 build. And here it is, the grand reveal. As you can see here, we've got the engines mounted and we have our first coat of paint. This is not the final coat of paint. I made a lot of mistakes. I got in a little bit of a hurry, and there's pieces of hot glue that are stuck to the paint and whatnot. So I'm going to sand it down really well, get all the imperfections out, and we're going to go with this color. But what we're going to do is I'm going to have a lot of reddish orange accents throughout the vehicle here as a tribute to one of my favorite Star Wars vehicles, the X-Wing Fighter. So we're going to go with kind of an X-Wing Fighter paint scheme with the off-white and reddish trim pieces. So let's talk about the engines a little bit. As you can see here, the engines look pretty decent. If you watch my other videos, you'll know that they're made out of travel-size deodorants, and the back here, the exhaust is just a travel-size toothpaste caps. The intake here, I've got just a 20-ounce soda bottle, and I cut the top of it off, and then the nozzle here for the fan or the nose cone for the fan is just a old Sharpie that I cut the top of it off. This side, it's not complete. I haven't gotten that part finished, but I just wanted to show you the one that is. I also put a piece of just craft foam like this stuff. As you can see, it's actually cut out right there, and that is give the hood a little bit more dimension. It also covered up some of the mistakes that I made on the hood. And this little greebly is kind of my favorite thing because it's so cheap and so ghetto. It's funny. It came out of this, which was a tray that I got at Walmart that had Hot Wings in it. And then I looked at it and I love the details. It looks very, very Star Wars, almost kind of has the Death Star towers to it. But yeah, this thing had a lot of really cool pieces, and I used that greebly there as well as ones on the engines. The wires here are just that. It's a 20 gauge wire. I drilled a couple holes and then cut off a couple pieces of 20 gauge wire and just jammed them in the engine, and they'll have a metallic color. And I'm going to make the engines a little bit more detailed once we get the final paint job. Obviously, we still have not built the seats. I'm going to use Super Sculpey to build those, and we haven't put our canopy on yet, and we'll get to that when we get to it. But I'm going to put this little wooden piece that I just accidentally made in to kind of give it a little bit of a flare off the back. But you can kind of see where we're going with this, and it looks pretty cool. One thing that I've noticed, because this thing has taken me a couple weeks to build because I've started it and then I've left it alone for a week at a time, but one thing that I've noticed is that I know a lot more about the XP-38 than I did when I first started this project. And there's a little bit more resources, and mine looks nothing like the XP-38, but we're still going to call it the XP-38 because it's fun. So anyway, guys, that's stage 3. Once we get the next coat of paint on, I'm going to put the accent pieces, and then we're going to go into some real fine modeling stuff to give the engines a little bit more mechanical look. And yeah, so enjoy, guys, and I'll see you on the next video. Cool. Pretty much really solid. The problem that I had is that I used it into the spaceship here. Damn it. Now, the seats are pretty much just for, as you can see here, our X-Wing, jeez Louise. Yeah, that's an X-Wing, all right. Cut.